away, and we'll be locked in the whole way through. Here are the first round matchups: Liberty versus the Dream, Lynx versus the Mercury, Sun Fever in the 4-5 matchup, the Aces versus the Storm. But how about the Fever?
I feel like it's a great accomplishment, but like there's so much more left to be done. Like, yeah, we made the playoffs. There's 6 regular season games.
Yeah, they're a very dangerous team coming into this postseason. You know, they always tell you that the team that you want to watch out for are the teams that get hot at the right time.
20 wins. That's how many games the Indiana Fever won this season. You know what's crazy? That's more than their last 2 seasons combined. And it's all thanks to one rookie who's changing the game. Caitlin just stepped into the WNBA, and she's already got people talking about a championship. But can she really lead the Fever to a shock title? Let's talk about this turnaround. The Fever went from being the team everyone forgot about to the team everyone's watching. It's like they flipped a switch or something. And at the center of it all, Caitlin Clark. This rookie came in, and suddenly the Fever are playing like a whole different team.
She has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the height that she had, the expectations she had.
Let's start with the rookie, Caitlin Clark Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear, and last night was no different. Wings, Fever, Caitlin Clark set to go as she broke the single-season assist record.
She's been playing like a top 5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame. Teams can no longer blitz her and trap her.
But here's the big question. Can Clark really take this underdog team all the way? I mean, we're talking about a rookie leading a team that was at the bottom of the league to a championship. That's insane, right? But the way Clark's been playing, anything seems possible. You won't believe what's coming next in this Cinderella story. Remember when everyone thought Clark was just another overhyped rookie? Well, her journey from struggling newcomer to league sensation is about to blow your mind. How did she silence the critic and become the WNBA's newest superstar in just 1 season? It all started with a rocky debut. Clark stepped onto the WNBA court with sky-high expectations, but reality hit hard. The Fever stumbled to a 1-8 record, and suddenly everyone was questioning if Clark could cut it at this level. It was like watching a star dim before our eyes. But here's where things get wild. Just when people were ready to write her off, Clark flipped the script. She started dropping dimes like a seasoned pro, sinking threes from another zip code, and leading fast breaks that left defenders in the dust. It was like she downloaded an update overnight and came back as WNBA 2.0. You know what's even crazier? Clark's playing style started reminding people of legends like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird. We're talking about a rookie here, and she's already drawing comparisons to some of the greatest to ever play the game. That's not just hype, that's game recognizes game respect. But Clark's impact goes way beyond her stat. She's turned Fever games into must-see TV. Get this, average viewership for Fever games shot up by 170% compared to last season. That's not a typo, 170%. People aren't just watching, they're packing the stands too. Home games are selling out left and right. It's like Clark brought a spark that lit up the whole league. She's not just a rookie sensation. She's become a cultural icon. You know how Tim Tebow used to have everyone talking about him, whether they were football fans or not? That's Clark in the WNBA right now. Love her or hate her, you can't ignore her. And here's the kicker. All those college fans who used to tune in to watch Clark play, they followed her right into the pros. It's like she's single-handedly expanding the WNBA fan base. The league's popularity is surging, and a lot of that buzz is thanks to Clark's electric performances. With all eyes on Clark, everyone's wondering if she can handle the pressure of the playoff. But here's the twist. The Fever might have an unexpected advantage. What if their underdog status is actually setting them up for a shocking postseason run? The Indiana Fever aren't just happy to be in the playoff, they're gearing up to shock everyone. You think they're satisfied with their incredible turnaround? Think again. These underdogs are hungry for more, and they're not afraid to show it. Let's peek behind the curtain at the Fever's playoff prep. It's intense, it's focused, and it's all about embracing that underdog mentality. They're not just practicing plays, they're building a mindset that screams, "We belong here, and we're coming for that title." Now, let's talk strategy. The Fever are set to face the Connecticut Sun in the first round. On paper, the Sun look tough. They've got playoff experience. But you know what? That might just work in the Fever's favor. The Sun could be vulnerable to a team with fresh energy and a nothing-to-lose attitude. Here's where it gets interesting. The Fever are looking at every weakness in the Sun's armor. They're studying how the Sun guard players like Clark. And let me tell you, Clark's not the same player she was at the start of the season. She's evolved, adapted, and now she's ready to exploit any gap in that defense. You want to know the craziest part? The team's confidence is through the roof. One analyst even said, "I know better than to bet against Caitlin Clark when the stakes are highest." That's not just hype, that's respect. But it's not just about Clark. The whole team has rallied around her leadership. It's like they found a new gear. They're playing as a unit, moving like they can read each other's minds. It's beautiful to watch. And get this, the coaches are loving it. They see the hunger in their players' eyes. They feel the energy in practice. One coach even said, the Fever's underdog status might actually be their secret weapon in the playoffs. Can you imagine? The very thing that makes people doubt them could be what pushes them over the top. You know what's wild? This team they really believe they can do this. It's not just talk. It's not just hope. It's a deep down, in your bones kind of belief that they can shock the world. Now, here's where things get wild. Everyone's talking about the top seeds, but there's a dark horse in this race that could change everything. What if the key to the championship isn't star power, but the element of surprise? The Fever have clinched the number 6 seed in the playoff, and they're about to face a gauntlet that could make or break their championship dream. First up, the Connecticut Sun, sitting pretty at number 3. But don't count the Fever out just yet.
This is who she is. I mean, she's one of the most elite competitors I've ever been around. You know, and the only other competitor that I can compare her to is Tamika Catchings.
You know, they make quicker reads and play with a lot more rhythm, better timing, and multiple weapons on the floor. I mean, and it's a team that's playing with a lot of confidence.
You know, the way that she approaches the game, you know, her professionalism. You know, it was big. You know, it was exciting. It was one of the most exciting things for me that I wanted to happen tonight.
Some experts are whispering that the Sun might be the most vulnerable high seed in the playoffs. You know what that means? The door's wide open for an upset. Let's break down this playoff format. It's a best-of-3 series for the first round. The Sun get home court advantage for the first 2 games, but if the Fever can steal one, they'll have a shot at closing it out on their home turf. It's like David versus Goliath, but David's got a secret weapon named Caitlin Clark. Speaking of Clark, she's not just any rookie. She's a game changer, especially when the pressure's on. One analyst even said, "I know better than to bet against Caitlin Clark when the stakes are highest." That's not just hype, that's respect. And in the playoffs, that killer instinct could be the difference between going home early and making a deep run. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Fever aren't just facing the Sun. If they make it past the first round, they're looking at powerhouses like the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty. These teams are stacked with all-stars and playoff experience. The Fever, they're the new kids on the block, hungry and fearless. You want to know something crazy? Some analysts are predicting the Fever could crash the second-round party despite being lower seeds. It's like they've got this magic formula of rookie energy and veteran grit that's got everyone buzzing. Remember how the Fever won more games this season than in the last 2 combined? That's the kind of momentum that can shake up a playoff bracket. They're not just happy to be here, they're here to win it all. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. The playoffs are a different beast. Every possession counts, every mistake gets magnified. But that's where Clark thrives. When the lights are brightest, she shines, and she's got a whole team ready to back her up. You know what's wild? This Fever team they really believe they can do this. It's not just talk. It's not just hope. It's a deep down, in your bones kind of belief that they can shock the world. And in the playoffs, sometimes belief is all you need to spark a Cinderella run. Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is mind-blowing. She's not just changing the Fever. She's changing the whole game. The league's viewership is up 170% from last year. That's insane. People aren't just watching. They're packing the stands. It's like Clark brought a spark that lit up the entire WNBA. But here's the real kicker. Whether the Fever win it all or not, this playoff run is huge. It's a turning point for the Fever, for Clark, for the whole league. One expert even said, whether we see Clark carry her squad to an unprecedented championship run or the Aces cement their dynasty, one thing is certain, the WNBA is the real winner. Clark and the Fever are rewriting what's possible in the WNBA. They're not just playing basketball, they're changing the game, and we get to watch it all unfold. How crazy is that?